Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about power. Not the kind that controls others, but the kind that makes you so unstoppable that the right things, the right people, and the right love will find you without you having to chase them. We live in a world where we are constantly told to go after what we want, hustle harder, run faster, push further. And while that's true for dreams, it's not the same for love. Because love, true love, isn't about chasing, it's about attracting. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. It's the foundation of self-respect, confidence, and the ability to attract the right people into your life. When you truly understand your value, you stop settling for less than you deserve, and you start commanding the kind of respect and love that aligns with your standards. At the core of knowing your worth is self-awareness. It's about recognizing what makes you unique, what you bring to the table, and refusing to let anyone diminish that. Too often, people seek external validation, waiting for someone else to confirm their value. But real confidence doesn't come from the approval of others, it comes from within. It comes from understanding that your existence, your presence, and your energy are already enough. When you don't recognize your worth, you fall into the trap of chasing people who don't value you. You try to prove yourself, to earn love, to convince someone to see you the way you wish they would. This mindset leads to unnecessary pain because love, attention, and respect should never be begged for. When you chase someone, you subconsciously place them on a pedestal, believing they are more valuable than you. But the truth is, no one is above or below you. The moment you start seeing yourself as worthy, you shift the dynamics of your relationships. You no longer tolerate disrespect, mixed signals, or inconsistency because you know you deserve better. Understanding your worth also means setting standards. It means knowing what you will and won't accept in your life. Standards aren't about being demanding or difficult. They are about having clarity on what aligns with your values and what doesn't. When you have standards, you don't entertain people who only give you half-hearted effort. You don't waste time on those who don't prioritize you. Instead, you create space for those who truly appreciate you. Confidence is magnetic. When you know your worth, you carry yourself differently. You don't have to chase because your energy naturally attracts the right kind of people. People are drawn to those who are sure of themselves, who don't seek validation, and who live their lives with purpose. Instead of focusing on who is or isn't giving you attention, focus on yourself. Work on your goals, your passions, and your happiness. The more you invest in yourself, the more valuable you become. Not just in the eyes of others, but in your own eyes. There is a major difference between someone who waits for love to define them and someone who already knows they are whole on their own. When you truly understand your worth, you stop fearing rejection because you know rejection is just redirection. You stop settling for temporary attention because you know you deserve consistency. You stop lowering your standards because you understand that the right person will rise to meet them. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you accept less, people will give you less. If you respect yourself, others will follow suit. The key is to embody the kind of self-worth that doesn't waver based on how someone else sees you. It's about knowing that you are valuable regardless of who chooses to recognize it. At the end of the day, knowing your worth is about standing firm in who you are, refusing to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's life, and embracing the fact that you deserve love, respect, and effort, not because you chased it, but because you attracted it by being unapologetically you. Focusing on your growth is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It shifts your mindset from seeking validation from others to becoming the best version of yourself. When you prioritize personal development, you stop worrying about who is noticing you, who is paying attention, and who isn't. Instead, you channel that energy into your own journey, your own success, and your own happiness. This shift is powerful because the more you evolve, the more you naturally attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right love. Growth is about constantly learning, improving, and challenging yourself. It's about understanding that you are a work in progress and embracing the journey rather than obsessing over the destination. Too often, people lose themselves in relationships, pouring all their time and energy into someone else while neglecting their own goals and aspirations. They forget that their dreams, ambitions, and self-worth should never take a backseat to someone else's presence in their life. The moment you make someone else the center of your world, you lose your sense of self. That's why prioritizing your growth is crucial. It ensures that no matter what happens in your relationships, you remain whole, independent, and strong. When you focus on your own progress, you create a life that excites you. You develop skills, pursue passions, and build a future that is fulfilling with or without someone else. You start working toward your goals, whether they are career-driven, personal, or emotional. Maybe it means starting a business, advancing in your career, learning a new skill, traveling, or improving your health. Whatever it is, when you are busy growing, you naturally become more confident, more self-assured, and more attractive, not just to others, but to yourself. Self-improvement also changes the way you view relationships. Instead of seeking someone to complete you, you realize that you are already whole. Instead of chasing after someone who isn't investing in you, you recognize that your time is too valuable to waste. Growth gives you clarity. It helps you understand what you truly want and deserve. When you focus on evolving, you naturally outgrow situations, people, and habits that no longer serve you. And that's a good thing. Outgrowing people doesn't mean you're better than them. It simply means you are aligning with a different version of yourself, one that requires a higher level of energy, respect, and effort. Another beautiful thing about focusing on growth is that it keeps you grounded. Life is unpredictable. People come and go, situations change. But when you are rooted in your own journey, external circumstances don't shake you as much. You don't rely on someone else to make you feel valuable or loved because you already cultivate that within yourself. You don't feel the need to chase anyone because your life is already full of purpose and excitement. When you are growing, you naturally inspire others. People are drawn to those who are ambitious, passionate, and constantly improving. Your energy becomes contagious, and instead of chasing love or validation, you attract those who admire and respect your journey. The right person will see your growth, appreciate your dedication, and want to be a part of your world without you having to convince them. Focusing on your growth isn't about ignoring love or relationships. It's about understanding that the best relationships happen when two whole individuals come together, not when one person is searching for completion in another. It's about building a life so fulfilling that whether someone chooses to be a part of it or not, you still feel whole, accomplished, and at peace. Growth ensures that you never settle, never shrink yourself for someone else, and never lose sight of the most important relationship you will ever have, the one with yourself. Setting your standards is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life and relationships. It is a reflection of how you see yourself and what you believe you deserve. Your standards determine the kind of people you attract, the kind of treatment you accept, and ultimately the quality of your life. When you have clear, unwavering standards, you don't waste time on things that don't align with your values. Instead, you create space for the right people and opportunities to come into your life. The first step in setting your standards is understanding your worth. When you truly know what you bring to the table, you stop allowing others to give you less than you deserve. Too often, people lower their standards out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of missing out, or fear of losing someone. But settling for less than what aligns with your values only leads to disappointment and self-doubt. Having standards is not about being demanding or difficult. It is about knowing what serves your happiness and well-being. It is about refusing to accept half-hearted effort, inconsistency, or disrespect. Having standards also means setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines that protect your peace, your energy, and your emotional well-being. When you set boundaries, you teach people how to treat you. You make it clear what is and isn't acceptable in your life. If someone continuously crosses those boundaries, it's a sign that they do not respect you. And when you have high standards, you do not allow that kind of behavior to stay in your life. People often think that having high standards will push others away. In reality, it does the opposite. It filters out those who are not meant for you and attracts those who align with your values. The right people will respect your standards and rise to meet them, while the wrong ones will simply fall away. This is why it is essential to be firm in what you expect. If you constantly bend your standards to accommodate someone else, you lose yourself in the process. You start accepting behavior that doesn't align with your worth, and over time, this can lead to resentment and unhappiness. Setting standards also applies to how you treat yourself. The way you show up for yourself sets the tone for how others will show up for you. If you prioritize your well-being, take care of yourself, and demand respect from yourself first, others will follow suit. This is why self-love and self-respect go hand in hand with setting high standards. When you genuinely love and respect yourself, you naturally refuse to entertain anything that doesn't align with that energy. Another important aspect of maintaining standards is patience. It can be tempting to lower your expectations when you feel lonely or when you see others settling for less. But settling just for the sake of having someone in your life is a temporary fix with long-term consequences. Patience allows you to wait for what aligns with your values rather than accepting something that isn't right. It reminds you that you are deserving of love, effort, and commitment, not because you demanded it, but because you set a foundation where anything less simply doesn't fit. Standards are not just about relationships. They apply to every area of life. Whether it's friendships, work, or personal goals, having clear expectations ensures that you are surrounded by people and situations that uplift you rather than drain you. When you set your standards high and refuse to compromise them, you create a life filled with respect, fulfillment, and the kind of love that is truly meant for you. Being the prize, not the pursuer, is about shifting your mindset from seeking validation to recognizing your own value. It is about understanding that you are not meant to chase, convince, or beg for anyone's attention or affection. When you carry yourself like the prize, you naturally attract people who recognize your worth without you having to prove it to them. This shift in perspective changes the way you approach relationships, self-worth, and the energy you bring into every interaction. At the core of being the prize is self-confidence. Confidence is not about arrogance or superiority. It is about knowing who you are and what you bring to the table. It is about believing in your own worth so deeply that you do not feel the need to seek external validation. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance. When you know you are valuable, others will see it too. But when you doubt yourself, you send out energy that allows others to question your worth as well. Many people fall into the trap of chasing someone who does not reciprocate their energy. They overextend themselves, go out of their way to prove their worth, and accept minimal effort in return. This dynamic creates an imbalance where one person is constantly giving while the other is merely receiving. But relationships should never be about convincing someone to choose you. The moment you feel like you have to chase someone is the moment you need to step back and remind yourself that you are the one who should be pursued. When you position yourself as the prize, you stop tolerating inconsistent behavior. You do not wait by the phone for someone who barely puts in effort. You do not accept mixed signals, half-hearted gestures, or people who do not prioritize you. Instead, you set the standard that if someone wants to be in your life, they need to show up fully. You make it clear through your actions, not just your words, that your time and energy are valuable and that you will not waste them on anyone who does not appreciate them. Being the prize also means focusing on yourself instead of obsessing over someone else's attention. The more you invest in yourself, your growth, your goals, and your happiness, the more magnetic you become. People are drawn to those who are passionate, self-sufficient, and genuinely happy with their life. When you are focused on your own journey, you stop worrying about who is or isn't choosing you because you are too busy choosing yourself. This creates an aura of confidence that naturally attracts the right people into your life. There is a major difference between someone who begs for attention and someone who commands it effortlessly. The person who begs is always seeking approval, always trying to prove their worth. The person who commands attention simply exists in their power, knowing that the right people will recognize and appreciate them without any extra effort. When you embrace the mindset of being the prize, you stop over-explaining yourself. You stop chasing people who are unsure about you. You stop settling for less than you deserve. Instead, you move forward with grace, knowing that those who are meant for you will come willingly and enthusiastically. One of the biggest fears people have about embodying this mindset is that they might end up alone. But the truth is, being alone is far better than being in a situation where you are undervalued. When you hold yourself to a high standard, you may lose people who are unwilling to rise to the occasion, but that is a good thing. The right people will appreciate your confidence and effort, not take advantage of it. When you know you are the prize, you do not need to chase, you do not need to prove anything, you simply exist in your worth, knowing that the right person will recognize it and step up. That is the energy that attracts respect, love, and admiration. Letting energy flow naturally is one of the most important principles in life and relationships. It is about understanding that what is meant for you will find its way to you without force, without pressure, and without unnecessary struggle. When you allow energy to move effortlessly, you create space for genuine connections, opportunities, and experiences to enter your life. You stop trying to control every outcome and instead embrace the natural rhythm of life, trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is forcing something that isn't meant to be. They try to control how someone feels about them, overanalyze every interaction, and obsess over making things work. But love and connection should never feel like a battle. When you are constantly pushing for something, it is often a sign that the energy is not aligned. Relationships should flow with ease, not be built on anxiety, insecurity, or one-sided effort. If you have to constantly chase, prove yourself, or beg for attention, the energy is not mutual. And when energy is not mutual, no amount of effort can make something last in a fulfilling way. Letting energy flow naturally means trusting that if someone truly values you, they will show up for you without you having to force it. It means allowing people to be who they are, rather than trying to change them into who you want them to be. So often, people hold on to relationships that are draining, hoping that if they try harder or give more, things will improve. But the truth is, forcing something that isn't meant for you only delays what is actually right for you. When energy flows naturally, there is no need to manipulate, overthink, or struggle to be seen. This concept applies to all areas of life, not just relationships. Whether it's your career, friendships, or personal growth, things that are aligned with your path will come with a sense of ease. That does not mean there will be no effort required. Growth and success always require work, but there is a difference between putting in effort and forcing something that is not in alignment with you. If you are constantly hitting obstacles, feeling drained, or struggling to make something fit, it may be a sign that the energy is not meant to flow in that direction. Instead of resisting, sometimes the best thing you can do is surrender and trust that better things are on the way. One of the most powerful aspects of allowing energy to flow naturally is that it keeps you in a state of peace. When you stop forcing and start allowing, you feel lighter. You stop carrying the weight of expectations, disappointments, and frustrations that come from trying to control what is outside of your hands. You develop a mindset of trust. Trust in your journey, and trust that what is truly meant for you will never require desperate chasing. When you embrace this mindset, you also become more attractive to the right people and opportunities. There is something incredibly magnetic about a person who is at ease with themselves and their life. When you are no longer desperate for things to happen in a certain way, you give off a calm, confident energy that naturally draws people in. You become someone who is comfortable with life's flow, someone who doesn't need to control everything, but instead welcomes what comes and lets go of what doesn't. Another key element of letting energy flow naturally is detachment. Detachment does not mean not caring, it means not clinging. It means knowing that you are whole on your own and that your happiness is not dependent on any one person, job, or situation. When you detach from the need to force things, you allow space for miracles to happen. You let life surprise you instead of trying to script every moment. You trust that what is yours will come and what is not will leave, and you are okay with that. When you let energy flow naturally, you experience life in a completely different way. You stop chasing, stop forcing, and stop resisting. Instead, you align with the natural rhythm of life. And in doing so, you find that everything meant for you arrives. in its own perfect timing.